Either way, Fiend teaming up with Pugsy. The last Brazilian versus the last Canadian. Well, the only Brazilian versus the last Canadian here in 2v2s, going up against this World Championship team of Addymestic and Cake. Addymestic and Cake had a big 2018, able to finish it out as the World Championship team, but 2019, there have been some
not so hot for
showing.
them.
Yeah,
not so hot for them.
The fact that they were able to beat Blue and Simple was a real nice feather in the cap for them this year, because it was looking rough, especially because Blue and Simple were dominating all of EU in 2v2s.
It was something that they weren't able to even come close to doing 2 weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago.
Not at all.
Looks like we're ready. No surprises on the character picks. This Bodvar, we were a little bit confused on the pick. It is definitely new.
Pugsy, it is. He's explicitly said that it is a new one.
That it was a new pick.
But he was saying that it's looking relatively clean right now. And then we're seeing Fiend starting off with a Nash. At the start of this weekend, he was playing the Asuri. And then we're seeing him kind of like struggle with it. And so we switched it up to the Nash, and they ended up winning out their set when he switched over to the Nash. Then in the ones that I watched of him, he was playing this Nash pick. So it seems like that's going to be the comfort pick for the entirety of the weekend.
Now, of course, this is best of 5. So you have options of, like, if you go down 2 games.
Could switch.
You could switch.
You could switch. We saw that happen just a little while ago with Cody Travis and Isidru switching it up. But we're going to get right on into game 1 of this best of 5. Fiend and Pugsy versus Cake and Addymestic. No weapon spawn for Fiend, but he doesn't care. He has a lot of weapon toss play, which means he has a lot of unarmed play in between those weapon tosses.
But he won't have that weapon toss to kind of just change up the momentum, the initiation choices that his opponents might have. So he will be technically at a weapon disadvantage there because he doesn't have that kind of starter or that connection point between his unarmed into a weapon toss into the unarmed.
And see them both chasing after Addymestic, going real high. They want this finishing blow on Addymestic, know how damaged he is, but he is on that Thor high defense character. Sideline side air sends Pugsy flying as Addy and Cake go for the 2v1, the neutralite and the neutral signature from Cake.
Now, I think Cake and Addy here will have the stronger kill potential.
Okay.
Not necessarily strength-wise, but in terms of more favorable signatures that people like to use. More signatures that you can use regularly. Because Nash signatures, like, they'll kill super early, but they're not some of the strongest signatures in the game.
No, but Nash players like their signatures.
Not the best hitboxes on them. But yeah, I mean, Nash players do like them, but it's a dying breed out there. Hopefully Fiend this weekend
is trying to revitalize the Nash scene.
Inspire some Nash players out there.
You know, way back in the day, 2015, back in closed beta, back when there was one region, the only person from South America that really participated in the community played Nash.
He was a Nash player too.
Just saying.
That's weird. Maybe it's just
a little bit of nostalgia there for us old boys.
Maybe it's just something about South America.
They like that Nash.
They like Nash.
Pugsy going to be going down to his final stock, though. See him with the sword in hand. Fiend sticking with this hammer play, but Cake going to disarm him with the sideline cider. And again, the target swaps. This is one thing that's working really well for the red team, is they're really good at just sending one of the blue team members flying and then just going for a quick 2v1 onto the person who's staying on stage.
And Cake throwing out so many dares on the edge. He was able to hit Pugsy with one. Meanwhile, when Fiend tries to go back to the main platform, Addy's there to take him out. Fiend on his final stock. Pugsy might be out of the game soon if he's not very, very careful. The D-Light ground pound, that is a double kill going the way of Fiend and the blue team.
That's a save coming out from Fiend. Able to get both Cake and Addymestic with those unarmed ground pounds. Keeping his team alive.
Now, something that the target swaps might not help with is taking out Pugsy. If they can maybe put a little bit of focus on Pugsy, because Addy hit Pugsy with a down air, sent him off stage, and turned around and tried to attack Fiend. Instead of trying to finish off Pugsy, the D-Light side air is going to hit a little bit of damage on the Pugsy. He's so damaged right now. That's going to take him out. It's now 1v2 for Fiend. He does have Cake and Addy both in the orange, and they will be so unfamiliar with how to fight against Fiend, and pretty unfamiliar with how to fight against a Nash too, saving that dodge all the way until the last possible moment to get back to the wall.
Basically equivalent health on all sides, except for the fact that there's 2 members on the red team against the one of Fiend, and Fiend knows it. Gonna go off screen, finish off that stock, and get ready for game 2. Communication coming out from Addymestic.
There's Moises in the background yelling.
Is he their Pokemon trainer?
I don't think so. I think he just said, "Let's go, Fiend."
Oh.
You've seen that replay. The final side air that sealed that game.
And again, I pointed this out when we watched them on Friday, but Fiend does not speak fluent English. He struggles a little bit with his English, generally has to use Google Translate. So there is a communication barrier between the two of them.
And like you said that, and I was like, it's probably fine. Because like Dobrain used to have not the strongest English, but like he and I could talk. Fiend like straight up, like it's
gotten better.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely gotten better, but he's still not a fluent English speaker and does not have
like
all of his time devoted to learning English.
He probably has like a functional understanding of like things in this game in English more than probably anything else. Like he knows D-Light and stuff like that.
Even then, like I think it's the Brazil. Wow, Addymestic is just gone. But I was gonna say I think it's Brazil that calls spear lance and they call lance drill.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So unless you're ready for that, like that is just gonna be something that you have to be.
Do you know if they have other names for like D-Light?
I don't know about that one. But I just know, like, sometimes you'll see in chat, like, they'll be like, oh, blah, 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 Lance. And you're like, wait, that Lance doesn't do that. Just a slight lead for the blue team right now. Addymestic lost that first stock so early, but now everyone's health has been evened up, except for the fact that, again, Addymestic just one stock behind. Now Cake going to be tied with him in that stock department.
Pugsy and Fiend looking good on this small Enigma map pick here. Oh, beautiful Nair. You saw Pugsy chasing him through the sky. He was holding left, trying to stay right on top of him.
Nair coming out from Pugsy onto Addymestic. Might be just the target for the blue team. If they can finish off Addymestic, they have all the time in the world to go for these 2v1s, but Addy is going to get the stock off of Fiend. Stomp, sidelight sets up for Cake into the follow-ups.
And see, there you go. You see a little bit more focus. It's not just, oh, I'm going to send this guy off stage real quick and then go to the other blue team member. Cake kept that going.
Charge up the side sig. Addy punishes Pugsy for punishing his teammate. Nair.
Fiend coming in, D-Light Cider. Unfortunately, he takes out Pugsy in the process.
And the stock count is evened up. Addymestic really has to extend the stock, though. Where are you going with that one?
What was that ground pound?
Maybe that was supposed to be a gravity cancel down sig, but he didn't have the dodge, and then he could have thrown it out and, like, dodge read.
Yeah, it was definitely a misinput.
Now it's all left to Cake in the 2v1, and unfortunately Pugsy not even close to kill percent, so it's not like Cake can just take him out and go for just straight 1v1 against Fiend. Nice. Has him off stage.
Oh, now he has Fiend.
Nice wake up from Pugsy.
Cake surviving for an extended period of time here. He does finally lose that stock, but we're about 3 minutes into this game. Fiend still has 2 of his stocks. Pugsy still has at least half.
Orb in hand for Cake. He cannot use the Neutralite to protect himself as it has so many active frames. There's the falling side air. Cake's in trouble. Side air gets him back towards the stage, but he's getting hurt now on this final stock.
D-Light side air, that's actually going to kill. That took him into red midway through. I think it was after the D-Light. And the side air, he was already red, so he was dead. Fate and Thor, Nash, Bodvar, no character swaps.
Nope, sticking with it. Banning out maps now.
So it's tied up between these two.
Yeah, that's that
1
replay
to
of
1.
Addy fallen.
We're going to the Dome.
Best of 5s here as we go to Miami Dome. This is a map that favors established teams that know each other very well because it's a relatively small map. Even though there's these soft platforms, it tends to funnel people towards that middle area, towards that main stage, and unless you have great synergy with your teammate, you are going to hit your teammate.
But you can also try and separate the team. Like you see both members of the blue team spread really, really far. You have those soft plat. Oh my gosh, that's what Fiend wanted to do. He wanted to isolate Cake all the way on the left side from Addy so he could just take him out.
Just deleted that stock. Able to follow up off the gravity cancel neutral light from Pugsy. Fiend and Pugsy just coming alive now. Addy with the turnaround down air. Can't even finish the stock off of Pugsy. Cake rotates over to get that hit.
Pugsy taking out the gravity cancel down signature to get back to stage. Man, I can't tell you the last time I saw that happen. Oh boy, it was a long time ago. I feel like it was the time when Boomy like troll picked Nash and just threw out a million signatures.
Meanwhile, though, Fiend using it to great effect, just letting him move around these stages. Charged up, finishes off the stock. Stock count evened up, relatively even game overall, except that Cake a little bit more worse from where.
Nice sider coming off from Pugsy. That's going to send Cake off stage to the left. He's throwing that weapon toss, trying to give him a little bit of a buffer zone in between him. Double D-Light and the Sair. Pugsy ends up falling out of the D-Light because he had his dodge. Fiend with the weapon toss is going to go for another one. He goes high, goes real deep with that ground pound. Somehow Addy was like just under it the whole time. How is he still
alive? So Pugsy falls. Addy gets Fiend. Pugsy gets caught by the recovery. Addy and Cake take the lead.
Oh my gosh.
The extended offstage engagement working out for the red team.
Ooh, almost picked up Pugsy with the top side of that recovery.
Pugsy getting pretty damaged now. Ooh, Addy going real off stage with these ground pounds. Knows he has the extra stock, so he can go a little bit risky here. Side air from Fiend takes the stock, though.
You saw how careful Pugsy was being because he had Addy there where he could have hit him, but he was just so cautious because he's so deep in the red on his final stock. Doesn't want Fiend to be forced into this 1v2 situation where he's going to possibly be eating neutral sig after neutral sig coming out from Cake.
Cake in the offstage recovery. Interesting interaction as it gets stuffed into that wall. Side air finishes off the stock. Game number 3 going the way of Addy and Cake. That means they're up 2-1. You heard the Bodvar and Nash immediately locked in. Likely no character swaps.
Is this where, there's the side light, there's the D light.
Is that first stock?
Boom. Cake is done.
And that's one of the benefits of Fiend being kind of this off-region player, playing this off-pick. You're not going to expect that. No other Spear character does that. You don't see that on Bryn. You don't see that on Dusk. It just doesn't happen.
I'm trying to think, are there any Spear characters? Well, I mean, not many people even do side signatures like that to finish their stuff off. Like Sandstorm's one of them. He don't play a Spear character.
But it's just a really unique advantage that Fiend has. Cake finally picks up his spawn weapon. 2 orbs for the red team. Pugsy and Fiend trying to split this red team, not let them get those 2v1s, but Cake gets past. It's a little handoff of Fiend to Addy.
I'm surprised that down signature did not kill Pugsy in small Brawlhaven.
Not quite enough damage on the Pugsy. I think he like just barely procced into kill percent.
Did y'all nerf it after final round?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Side air from Cake,
I can't remember if it was nerfed or not.
Oh, down air does actually catch Addymestic.
Fiend running in just under that hammer signature. Put a little bit of unarmed punishment onto Addy. Continues it before he picks up the spear. Throws it away. Not worried about playing unarmed whatsoever. A little bit of unarmed damage. Finds the hammer.
The scoop. And the stock advantages for the blue team. Fiend holding on to so many stocks. He's just stomping and then does a quick jump weapon toss. Goes for the ground pound. Addy tries to punish. Gets back to the wall.
He blew a lot before that ground pound too. Like he did
that
when his character was grayed out. That's insane. Oh, Pugsy was there just to make sure. His timing on that was really good.
And that's extra damage and extra force coming out from Pugsy with that side air.
Oh, nice egg drop that low. Oh my gosh. Fiend is still living on small Brawlhaven.
On his first stock too. Down air finally does it. 2 stocks apiece on the blue team. 1 stock and 2 stocks for the blue team.
Fiend trying to run away. Cake unable to punish Fiend's extended unarmed hitboxes. Weapon toss still coming out. Fiend finding these weapon toss connections, man.
Off stage, Addy can't touch.
Oh,
It's all
Addy's
left
done.
to Cake. Side air. There's 3 stocks left on the blue team. Last time they were here, they were able to close it out so comfortably.
Yeah, Fiend and Pugsy looking like they're going to tie this up, bring it to a Game 5 situation. Nice follow-up from Pugsy.
Yeah. Nice punish. Turn around. Goes for chase dodge up into the recovery. Pugsy not able to challenge. No weapons left for Cake though.
Nice.
Gravity cancel side light. Gravity cancel neutral light, and he is done for. We're going to Game 5.
There's gravity cancel in light for all of those active frames, so we didn't have to time it like perfectly.
And it locks him in position.
Yep.
He already had the horizontal positioning that he needed.
All it would
Using throughout
take
the attack.
is for the timing to be good enough.
Yeah. And sometimes
There's
that's all you
Addy
need.
falling.
You just gotta be good enough.
Yeah. That's what I strive for.
Bare minimum, baby.
I want to know how their conversations go.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
Because like they do say things,
Yeah.
and Fiend nods his head, and Fiend will say things, and Pugsy nods his head, and they will say things back to one another.
Yeah, but people say things to me, and I'll nod my head and not understand a single thing they said.
That's true.
Nice punish from Fiend. Able to get some good damage on the Addymestic. Is this off-region team of Pugsy and Fiend going to be able to take out the current 2v2 World Championship team?
Pugsy and Fiend definitely have damage going in their favor this early on. Cake
Nice.
is basically red. Addy is basically dead.
Pugsy's so incredibly healthy here with this boat bar pick. Downlight side air, Cake. Gonna need a little bit of help, but Pugsy's already there with the side air. Addy was low trying to fight Fiend.
Yeah, blue team putting a lot of pressure onto Addy right now. Addy coming in for the relief onto Pugsy, then Fiend coming in for the relief onto Addy.
Punish the ground pound.
Is Pugsy going to be able to get back? Are we going to see the edge guard from Cake? It's going to be the Nair keeping Pugsy alive there.
Ribbon catches Pugsy.
That's one of those things where it's a grab.
And
So
if it hits both,
yeah,
it'll prioritize the enemy.
it was on top of Addy and Pugsy at the same time.
Nair into the recovery, puts Pugsy into the second stocks. Sidelight will get the double for Cake. Stock count even. Huge damage advantage for the blue team, though.
Stomp, no side air follow-up. It was when Addy was over on the edge, so a side air likely would not have hit.
Side air, Addy's gone. Pugsy and Fiend looking so incredibly strong. They might go into the winners finals.
They might.
Top
like
3.
It's not even just might.
This is very doable.
It's looking probable. Nice spot dodge coming out from Pugsy. Punishes, sending Cake very high. Cake's going to lose this stock so soon.
And Addy's getting caught by Fiend on the spear play. Fiend
Cake's
with these
dead.
downlight airs. Cake's done for. Addymestic on this right side. At this point, he's just hoping the blue team overcommits on the offstage and maybe they can win out and take the lead. Follow up Nair onto Fiend. Decent damage. But Addy really has to extend this last stock.
You see Fiend's trying to finish it off. You saw that slide kick right over the corner. Wanted to follow up the ground pound, knock him out. Fiend, even though he gets hit by that neutral air from Addy, still not dead. Fiend's survivability, dude, it's been so consistent, like every game. D-Light side air, is that going to take out Addy?
He's in trouble. Cake really trying to get the stock off of Pugsy. If he can get Pugsy out first, maybe they can go for the 2v1s onto Fiend. That might be the hope. Fiend falls.
This is their chance.
Pugsy with the disengage over to the right side wall. Cake's really
Oh,
hunting
that down
for
air
it.
was so close.
Addy's got to be careful here. He needs to let Cake get the stock.
Fiend was like he was trying to figure out what to do.
The Nair!
Whether he was going to go in, relieve some of the pressure from from Pugsy, or turn around and take out Addy. He chose to take out Addy. Pugsy in the red. Fiend almost fresh on his stock. Cake in the red. This is Pugsy and Fiend's chance to
Cake
move
can't touch!
into the winners finals, guaranteeing themselves top 3. No worse than that for the cross-region team one from Canada, one from Brazil, two who hardly speak the same language but share the same passion.
That is wild. Brazil in the top 3 here at the mid-season championship. Pugsy and Fiend, like, they're playing like an established team that's been playing for a very long time. They are playing so incredibly well. They're so good at protecting each other when the time is right.
And they're also really good in 1v1 situations.